Have you ever stopped to think who or what is really in control? We go through our days making choices, feeling emotions and acting on impulses, but what drives these actions? The answer lies within the intricate network of billions of neurons inside our skulls, our brains. It's a 3-pound universe, a silent puppet master orchestrating the symphony of our lives. Our brains dictate everything, from the automatic beating of our hearts to the complex emotions we experience when watching a sunset. This autonomy, this self-governance is what makes the human brain so fascinating. It operates without our conscious input, yet it shapes who we are. Imagine a vast control room filled with flashing lights, buzzing circuits, and a constant stream of information. This is your brain, constantly processing data, making decisions, and sending commands. We often take these processes for granted, but behind each action lies a complex interplay of neural activity, a testament to the brain's silent, ceaseless work. Think about the simple act of reading this essay. Your eyes scan the words, transmitting visual information to your brain. The brain then decodes these signals, transforming them into meaningful sentences. You're not consciously thinking about these processes, about the individual letters or the grammar rules. Your brain handles it all, effortlessly translating symbols into understanding. Or consider the feeling of hunger. It's not a conscious choice we make. It's a signal from our brain, a primal urge telling us to refuel. These are the brain's autonomous functions working tirelessly in the background to keep us alive and functioning. Our emotions, while experienced personally, are dictated by complex chemical reactions and neural pathways in the brain. Join us now on a journey into the cranium, a voyage into the heart of this fascinating organ. We'll explore the different parts of the brain, understand how they communicate with each other, and uncover the mysteries of consciousness and self-awareness. Imagine your brain as a vast, intricate city, with different regions specializing in specific tasks. There's the bustling metropolis of the Cortex, responsible for higher-level thinking and decision-making. Then there's the Limbic System, the emotional center, a place of intense feelings and primal urges. And deep within, we find the Brainstem, the city's ancient foundation, controlling vital functions like breathing and heartbeat. Imagine the brain as a walnut, its wrinkled surface mirroring the folds of our cortex. This outer layer, the most evolved part of our brain, is where the magic of thought, language, and reasoning happens. It's divided into 2 hemispheres, each responsible for controlling the opposite side of the body. The left hemisphere excels in language processing, analytical thinking, and mathematical calculations. It's the part of you that analyzes data, plans your day, and solves Sudoku puzzles. On the other hand, the right hemisphere thrives on creativity and intuition. It's the artist within, interpreting emotions, recognizing faces, and appreciating the beauty of a sunset. The frontal lobe, sitting right behind your forehead, acts as the brain's control center, governing decision-making, planning, and complex thought. Section 2, Seat of Emotions, the Limbic System. Deep within the brain, nestled beneath the cortex, lies the Limbic System, the seat of our emotions and primal instincts. This ancient structure plays a crucial role in our survival, driving our fight or flight response, regulating our sleep-wake cycles, and influencing our social interactions. The amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure, acts as the brain's alarm system. It processes fear and aggression, quickly evaluating threats and triggering a response. Then there's the hippocampus, shaped like a seahorse and vital for memory formation. The hypothalamus, a tiny but powerful structure, acts as the body's internal regulator, controlling hunger, thirst, body temperature, and sleep-wake cycles. Section 3. The silent guardian, brainstem. At the base of the brain, connecting it to the spinal cord, lies the brainstem, the unsung hero of the nervous system. This ancient structure controls the essential functions we rarely think about but couldn't live without: breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and swallowing. Imagine the brainstem as the brain's autopilot, tirelessly working in the background to keep you alive and functioning. It receives sensory information from the body and relays it to the higher brain regions, ensuring a constant flow of communication. The brainstem is also responsible for reflexes, those lightning-fast responses that bypass conscious thought. Section 4. A network of whispers, neurons and synapses. Now, let's zoom in further into the microscopic world of neurons and synapses, the building blocks of our brain's intricate communication network. Imagine billions of tiny messengers, each carrying a message, constantly relaying information throughout this vast neural network. Neurons, the basic unit of the nervous system, are specialized cells designed to transmit information. They have a cell body, dendrites that receive signals, and an axon that transmits signals to other neurons. These signals travel as electrical impulses, zipping along the neuron's axon like a spark traveling down a wire. The synaptic symphony, a dance of chemicals. These neurotransmitters then cross the synaptic gap and bind to receptors on the receiving neuron, like keys fitting into locks. This binding triggers a cascade of events, either exciting or inhibiting the receiving neuron, influencing its likelihood of firing off its own signal. Imagine this process as a complex dance, with neurotransmitters acting as messengers, carrying whispers of information across a crowded room. Some messages excite, urging action, while others inhibit, applying the brakes. The types of neurotransmitters present and their balance within the brain play a crucial role in shaping our mood, behavior, and overall well-being. For instance, dopamine is associated with pleasure, reward, and motivation, while serotonin contributes to feelings of happiness, relaxation, and well-being. Pathways of thought. Neural highways. Think of the brain as a vast network of roads, with neurons acting as cities and synapses as intersections. Each time we think, feel, or act, information travels along these neural highways, creating patterns of activity that define our experiences. These pathways aren't fixed, however. They're constantly being shaped and reshaped by our experiences, like paths through a forest worn down by repeated use. The more we engage in a particular thought, behavior, or emotion, the stronger those pathways become, making it more likely we'll repeat those patterns in the future. This is the essence of learning and habit formation. Sculpting the brain, the power of plasticity. This remarkable ability of the brain to change and adapt throughout life is known as neuroplasticity. It's what allows us to learn new things, recover from injuries, and adapt to new environments. Imagine the brain as a lump of clay, constantly being molded and reshaped by our experiences. From the moment we're born, our brains are bombarded with sensory information, shaping our neural connections and influencing who we become. This plasticity is most pronounced during childhood, when the brain is rapidly developing, but it continues throughout life, albeit at a slower pace. This means we're never too old to learn new things, break bad habits, or rewire our brains for the better. From sensation to perception, building our reality. But how does the brain actually process the constant stream of information bombarding our senses, transforming it into a cohesive perception of reality? This process, known as sensory perception, is a testament to the brain's remarkable ability to filter, organize, and interpret the world around us. It all starts with our senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. These senses act as our windows to the world, capturing information about our surroundings and sending it to the brain in the form of electrical signals. These signals then travel along specific neural pathways to dedicated areas of the brain for processing. The brain doesn't passively receive this sensory information, it actively interprets and makes sense of it, drawing on past experiences, expectations, and even our emotional state. The emotional compass guiding our actions. Emotions are often portrayed as the antithesis of logic, the wild horses to our rational riders' attempts at control. But emotions aren't our enemies. They are, in fact, crucial. components of our internal guidance system, a compass guiding our actions and shaping our decisions, often in ways we don't even realize. Every decision we make, from the mundane to the life-altering, is influenced by our emotional state. What we choose to eat for lunch might be dictated by a craving or a desire for comfort food. Our career choices are often driven by passions, interests, and the pursuit of fulfillment. Even seemingly rational decisions like choosing an investment or buying a house are colored by our risk tolerance, our aspirations, and our gut feelings. Emotions provide the color palette to our black and white world of logic, adding depth, meaning, and motivation to our choices. Our emotions, like an internal compass, guide us through the complexities of life, helping us navigate a world brimming with uncertainty and nuance. Fight, flight, or freeze, the amygdala's reign. Deep within the limbic system, the amygdala stands as the sentinel of our emotional world, constantly scanning for threats and triggering responses to ensure our survival. It's the part of our brain that reacts instantly to danger, bypassing the slower, more contemplative pathways of the cortex. Imagine yourself walking alone at night, your heart pounding as you hear footsteps approaching behind you. Your amygdala springs into action, flooding your body with adrenaline and cortisol, preparing you to either fight the potential threat, flee to safety, or freeze in place, hoping to avoid detection. This fight or flight or freeze response, hardwired into our brains through millennia of evolution, is essential for our survival in dangerous situations. Section 3. When emotions override logic, the hijacking. While emotions are essential for navigating the complexities of life, there are times when they can hijack our rational thinking, leading to impulsive decisions and regrettable actions. This emotional hijacking, as neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux coined it, occurs when the amygdala, overwhelmed by a perceived threat, seizes control of our behavior before the cortex, our rational brain, has a chance to intervene. Imagine this. You're in a heated argument, your emotions running high. Suddenly your friend says something hurtful, triggering a surge of anger within you. Before you can stop yourself, you lash out, saying something you instantly regret. In that moment, your amygdala, flooded with anger, bypassed your prefrontal cortex, the seat of rational thought and impulse control. The key to avoiding these emotional hijackings lies in developing our emotional intelligence, our ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions effectively. Section 4. Mastering the mind, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, often referred to as EQ, is the ability to not only recognize and understand our own emotions, but also to empathize with others, manage our emotional responses effectively, and use our emotions to motivate ourselves and build strong relationships. It's about harnessing the power of our emotions, not being ruled by them. Developing emotional intelligence is a journey, not a destination. It requires self-awareness, the ability to tune in to our own emotional landscape and identify the triggers that send us spiraling. It involves practicing empathy, stepping into the shoes of others and trying to understand their perspectives, even when they differ from our own. Mastering our emotional responses is key. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions, but rather learning to express them in healthy, constructive ways. It's about finding that delicate balance between acknowledging our emotions and letting them dictate our behavior. Emotional intelligence is a skill that can be learned and honed over time, leading to greater self-awareness, stronger relationships, and a greater sense of well-being. It empowers us to become the conductors of our own emotional symphony, orchestrating our inner world to create a harmonious and fulfilling life. Section 1. The conscious machine, a riddle in our heads. Of all the mysteries the brain holds, perhaps the most profound is the emergence of consciousness. This subjective experience of awareness, this feeling of being and looking out at the world from behind our eyes, is a constant companion. Yet its origins within the tangled web of neurons remain one of science's greatest unsolved puzzles. How does a lump of grey matter, a collection of electrical impulses and chemical reactions, give rise to the feeling of self, the awareness of our own existence? we still don't have a definitive answer. Some scientists believe that consciousness arises from the complex interplay of neural networks, a sort of emergent property of a highly interconnected brain. Others propose that consciousness might be a fundamental property of the universe, like gravity or electromagnetism, and that our brains are simply tuned to receive and process this universal consciousness. Whatever the explanation, the experience of consciousness is undeniable. It colors our every thought, feeling, and action. It allows us to reflect on our own existence, to contemplate the vastness of the universe, and to marvel at the mystery of it all. Section 2. Illusions of self constructing the I. We often talk about ourselves as if we are singular unified entities. I think, therefore I am, declared René Descartes. But what exactly is this I? Neuroscience suggests the self is a dynamic construct, an illusion woven by our brains. Imagine your sense of self as a story, constantly being rewritten. Each new experience shapes the narrative of who you are. Our brains create a sense of continuity, even though the I of today might be different from the I of yesterday. This illusion of self provides stability and continuity. It helps us navigate social situations and build personal identity. Remember, this sense of self is a useful fiction created by our brains. Section 3. The unseen director, subconscious influence. While we like to believe we are in control of our thoughts and actions, the reality is that much of what we do, think, and feel is driven by processes occurring below the level of conscious awareness. This subconscious realm, far from being a passive bystander, exerts a powerful influence on our lives, shaping our perceptions, influencing our decisions, and even guiding our actions. Imagine an iceberg, its tip representing our conscious awareness, and the vast, submerged portion symbolizing our subconscious mind. Just as the unseen mass of the iceberg dictates its movements, our subconscious mind exerts a powerful force on our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Our subconscious is a storehouse of memories, beliefs, and automatic processes that operate outside of our conscious awareness. It's the reason we might feel a sudden wave of anxiety in a specific situation. Without knowing why, we might be drawn to certain people or activities without understanding the underlying reason. These subconscious influences are not inherently good or bad. They are simply a reflection of our past experiences, our learned associations, and our ingrained patterns of thinking. Free will or destiny? A cerebral debate. Do we have free will, or are our actions predetermined by brain activity? If our brains decide before we're aware, is free will an illusion? Neuroscience offers clues but no definitive answers. Brain activity related to decisions is detected before conscious awareness. Conscious choice might be the end of a subconscious process. We can reflect and make different choices. The ability to consciously override impulses is where free will may reside. Understanding our brains helps us make informed choices and live fulfilling lives. Section 1. The Symphony Within. Journeying through the brain, we uncover astonishing complexity. Billions of neurons firing in silent symphony give rise to our thoughts and actions. This 3-pound universe orchestrates the symphony of our lives. From the cortex, where thoughts are formed, to the brainstem, maintaining life's essential functions, the brain processes information and adapts to change. We are both the composer and the instrument of our minds. Section 2. The Empowered Mind. Understanding the brain with all its intricacies and its mysteries is not merely an academic pursuit. It's an empowering journey of self-discovery, a path towards greater self-awareness, and a key to unlocking our hidden potential. By understanding how our brains work, we can become more conscious architects of our own lives. We can learn to harness the power of neuroplasticity to break free from limiting beliefs, develop healthier habits, and cultivate greater emotional intelligence. We can become more mindful of the subconscious influences that shape our thoughts and actions, choosing to challenge negative patterns and embrace more empowering beliefs. We can cultivate greater empathy and compassion, understanding that each mind is a unique symphony, shaped by its own unique experiences. The journey of understanding the brain is a journey without end, a constant exploration of the most complex and fascinating entity in the known universe. As we continue to unravel its mysteries, we unlock the secrets not only of who we are, but also of who we have the potential to become. The brain, once a mysterious black box, is now illuminated by the light of scientific inquiry, revealing a world of wonder, complexity, and endless possibility.